Hello, Billy. How are you?
I'm well.
Good.
How are you?
I'm really good.
I want to say something off the bat. Thank you so much. You're the most supportive and nicest person in this town. It was Tom Hanks. It's really Ellen. Thank you. And Tom's pretty good.
Well, I saw you shortly after that tape came out, and
Which tape?
some tape of you singing or something like that. And I thought, you know, one guy goes on to become president, and the other guy is the one that gets punished. And I think that you've apologized many, many times, but if you want to say anything now, and I told you when I saw you, if you want a platform to come out and talk, because I thought you should have had a chance to talk about this.
Yeah, I would have liked to you know, you explain, you know, the time and the, but look, I at this point for me, it's about, you know, going forward, and I've learned, you know, a lot of, it was longer than I thought. I mean, it happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, you learn from these. It would be a real shame to, you know, just check back into the game and having not done anything.
What did you learn?
I learned a lot of things. You know, I learned, look, I've got 3 daughters. They're with me backstage in the green room. They won't come to my show, but they will come to yours. And, you know, look, I said with my middle daughter, I said, you know, they're all going to be getting out there in the workplace and working, and if they ever, you know, when they walk into a room and they walk out of that room, you know, if people are smack talking when they leave, that's an unfortunate thing, and I don't want that to happen. So you learn that. And Ellen, everybody goes through something.
Yep. And
Everybody.
I think going through something like that, I watched your interview with Gayle King, which I thought was really, really good. And you know, and also I saw you say that you now don't go take the highs too high or the lows too low. You stay mid-ground, which I think is really smart, because this business can hurt you. And because I've gone through something, it taught me compassion, and I think that's what it teaches someone when you go through what you've gone through.
Yeah, you know, Gayle and I had this conversation standing, you know, in front of a banner that's 6 stories high of me and the new show. And I'm looking at it, she says, boy, that's gotta feel really great. Your 6-story big banner there. And I said, yeah, I mean, it's, if someone drives by and it means they tune in that night, that's great. But when you've been down, the highs and the lows, it's best to just, you're right, find the middle. And I will say, as an interviewer, as a person that's delivering news that people consume about other people most oftenly, it's good to know what it feels like to be down. Yep. And I had never really in my life felt what it's like to be down. And when you know that, you approach people a lot differently.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
That's nice.
I think it's important as an interviewer, as a person. And of course, your uncle is George H.W. Bush, and I loved him. I got a chance to meet him and spend time with him, and he was an amazing man. And you...
He sure was.
He was.
Oh, he spoke at my graduation. He was the most loving guy. Wrote a note to each one of my children when they were born, gave it to us, and it just said, welcome to the world. Let me tell you about this. You know, love your parents, all these little things. Love an old uncle. And he was terrific. And
yeah, he was a kind and a really great guy. But you saw Trump went to that funeral, so you got a chance to see him. That was the first time, I assume, that you saw him since that tape broke.
Yeah, a lot of people thought, like, was there any interaction? Did you run into him?
Yeah.
And I didn't. I was sitting in the middle of the church, and of course he's the last one to enter for security reasons. But I saw him. I thought it was a good thing, a beautiful thing, that the former president stipulated before he died. He went out of his way to say, you know, like, do you want him to come or not? And he said, you know what? I don't want the headline to be, you know, I blackballed him. And then that's all people talk about, instead of the things that happened under his watch. And so he specifically said, yes, just include. But it's normal protocol that the sitting president does the eulogy. He had a lucky circumstance there because 43 was his son, so he did the eulogy, and that was worked out perfectly. Right.
Well, that's fantastic that he was like forgiving like that. That's a lesson again that he taught. You're now working on Extra as also you're an executive producer, right?
Managing editor.
Managing editor. So what does that mean, and how early do you have to be in to do that?
I get in at 6:45 is the first meeting. That's off camera. And I took on that role instead of just the, put on the nice clothes and the makeup and read the lines because, you're dealing with people's lives. And I'm really sensitive now to what we say about people. And I don't want to participate in pile-on culture, which is, if someone's down, I don't want to, there's usually two sides to stories, or just don't want to participate in that. So I'm just kind of go through every little thing in the script and make sure we're doing the right thing.
Good, good. I think that's the way we all should go with all these programs. And you're single now, right?
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Are you on a dating app or anything?
No. I have my daughters in the back, and they, so anyone that I do date, which I haven't yet, will have to, pass that test. So I think probably a four-legged friend would be the first thing to move in, and we'll start there, and that's safe.
All right. Well, if you want to rescue a four-legged friend, I have the place for you. If you want to start with that.
Let's discuss.
All right,
Yeah.
we will. All right, you can catch
Thank you.
Billy weekdays on Extra. Check your local listings, and we'll be right back.